Good morning. My name is Sean Jude McCoach, and I'm the publisher of the Central Penn Business Journal and Central Penn Parent Magazine. Welcome to this installment of the Central Penn Business Journal's webinar series entitled Plan, Launch, and Grow a Business in Pennsylvania. Today's conversation is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development. The Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development is a state government agency whose mission is to encourage the shared prosperity of all Pennsylvanians by supporting good stewardship and sustainable development initiatives across the Commonwealth. With a keen eye toward diversity and inclusiveness, its staff acts as advisors and advocates providing strategic technology assistance, training, and financial resources to help Pennsylvanians, communities, and industries flourish. To learn more, please visit dced.pa.gov. That's dced.pa.gov. In a moment, I'll be turning the conversation over to this morning's presenter, Michael McManus. But first, a bit of housekeeping. All attendees are in a listen-only mode. The questions function is available if anyone has any questions throughout the conversation. Most questions we will save for the end. Our speaker will take as many questions as time permits. If a question is asked and does not get answered, it will be addressed offline via email. A recording of today's webinar will be made available soon after the conclusion of today's session on our website at http://www.cpbj.com/events. That's www.cpbj.com/events. Finally, a handout specific to today's webinar entitled Pennsylvania Business One-Stop Shop Fact Sheet is available for immediate download over in your GoToWebinar widget under the Handouts tab. At this time, I am pleased to welcome today's presenter, Mr. Michael McManus. Michael is the Director of Business One-Stop Shop Office within DCED. His passion is to serve others is reflected in his business One-Stop Shop's mission, which is to provide customer-focused service to new and growing businesses in PA. Prior to DCED, Michael served at the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue in addition to his years of experience working in various consumer service fields. Thank you, Michael, for sharing your expertise with our audience today. If you're ready, please take it away.
Thank you, Sean. To begin, I'm just going to go over our agenda for today. I'm going to do a quick introduction to the PA Business One-Stop Shop. I'm going to tell you about how it got started and essentially the purpose that it was intended to serve. And hopefully by the end of this conversation, you'll have a clear understanding of how this can assist you in your venture as well. Once I do the introduction, I'm actually going to do a live walkthrough of business.pa.gov, which is our website. So any questions you have regarding that, I'd be more than happy to answer at the end of the conversation. And without further delay, let's begin. So small businesses are very important to the growth of Pennsylvania's economy and workforce. They create jobs, encourage innovation, and add purpose to the lives of entrepreneurs. However, starting a new venture has not always been easy, and government can often seem like a hindrance to starting and growing a successful business. Individuals were already tired even before starting their business. Why? Because they would need to speak to multiple agencies and would often be transferred not once, but many times. This is a taxing process alone on those who are working full-time jobs or just getting by and just want to launch their passion. So Governor Wolf, who has been a small business owner himself, tasked the Department of Community and Economic Development with creating an office that would bridge the gap between other state agencies and develop a streamlined point of contact for individuals looking to start or grow their business. As a result, on February 6th of this year, the governor announced the launch of the Business One-Stop Shop website, toll-free helpline, and a dedicated office in conjunction with his budget address. No longer does an individual have to wonder which agency they need to contact or call a bunch of numbers not knowing if someone on the other end will be able to help them, or wonder which resources and information they can trust. The Business One-Stop Shop will connect you to the primary agencies involved with registering your business, including the Department of State, the Department of Revenue, and the Department of Labor and Industry. We can also put you in contact with partners who offer workshops and one-on-one mentoring. We offer informational resources and details on available business funding programs through the Commonwealth as well. We want to ensure that this information is accessible to everyone. So, whether you are planning, registering, operating, or growing your business, we are here to provide you assistance free of charge. That's right, everything we offer is free. And also, as of April, we've had over 10,000 users take advantage of our resources, many of which have used our mobile-friendly site on their smartphone or tablet. So let's begin and check out the site. All right, so what you're looking at is the main homepage of the Business One Stop Shop. If you're on any page of the site, up here in the top left corner, what we have is a home screen button. So if you ever get lost or you ever need to go back to the home page, you can always come back by clicking this main link in the top left corner. At the top, we have a standardized toolbar. We have an About section, library, testimonials, feedback, and contact us, which I will go over all those features at the end. We also have a search icon, which is standard on most websites that you visit. So if there's a term you're looking for specifically, you can type that in, and pages with that content should pop up in the results. As you can see, there's two individuals on the front of this homepage, and our marketing team helped design this, and one of the main goals was to make sure that we could connect with real live small business owners and their success stories. So as you can see in the bottom corner, we have the Laughing Owl Press Company from Kane, PA. These are real individuals who've launched a successful business, and we're more than happy to be featured on our webpage. So as we move forward, as we encounter future success stories, we'll continue to highlight these small businesses to encourage individuals that people can create successful ventures and establish their passions in Pennsylvania. Here are main tabs. We have Plan, Register, Operate, Grow, and we also have a PA Proud section. If you highlight each of these tiles, you'll notice there's a short description at the top. Most of what you see here is how the content is going to be displayed. It's very streamlined, very simple, easy to understand, and that was one of the goals of establishing this website. How many times you go on to government websites and it's confusing, you're not sure exactly what you're reading, it's pages and pages of content. We try to keep this in mind when developing the website. Also, remembering that individuals will more and more use their smartphones or tablets to access websites and content online. Here we have a short welcome. We want to make sure individuals know that we're friendly and we're happy that you're using the site. We want to encourage more and more people to use the site. So we want to make sure that this is welcoming. Here you'll see we have Small Business Spotlight. We have Trogs Brew, Success, and Hershey. So we'll feature success stories that are brought by our marketing team to highlight businesses that we've encountered that open the doors to us and are willing to share their success stories. So the Small Business Spotlight will change occasionally to highlight those businesses. Any events or upcoming events that we might have, our most recent one was Pennsylvania Small Business Week, will also be featured on the homepage to let individuals know what's going on in Pennsylvania, in your area. And we'll leave it on for some time, so that way, if you happen to stop by, maybe not during the event, but sometime afterwards, we are trying to make it easily accessible to access this information at your convenience. So we do try and leave this on for the period of time that the event is occurring. Also, you'll see trending links. This is something that when designing the website, we were very adamant about. a lot of times when you go onto a website, even if you're starting business, not only might you not know where you need to go or what you need to do or who you need to speak with, but when you're going onto a new website, you don't know how to navigate through it. You see these icons up top and you're like, maybe this applies, maybe it doesn't, it sounds like it might. Well, the trending links is here to simplify that for you. And based on the most common topics that individuals who visit this website are looking for, it will order those topics based on popularity. So if you're looking for a topic that's really common, it will be found in this trending link. So most likely, if you have a question and it's been asked multiple times, it will appear on this trending links feature. Down here, we have some featured photos, Amma Joe, which you might have seen in some other articles. We do try and highlight, as I mentioned before, real life small businesses, but in this case, she's the front page of our resources for women-owned businesses. We have resources for women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, and we even have some for veteran-owned businesses as well as other diverse classes, which I'll get into later in the presentation. But these are just some quick links for common topics related to individuals who might fall into those categories. So we have 7 resources for women-owned businesses and 9 resources for Pennsylvania veterans as well. Down below here is just our standard lower bar. This just directs you to different agency websites. If you need to visit the governor's site, there's a directory and also some social media links as well. This is just a standard bottom bar that you'll find on almost any agency website. So as you can see, we have a little arrow down here in the bottom corner. That, if you click on, will take you to the top of the screen. Keep in mind that this is the desktop version, so if you are using a mobile tablet device, at the top here, this toolbar will actually be replaced with a little, it looks like a 3 horizontal bar icon. That's going to be your menu icon, and that will be your access to these tabs as well as our main tiles and other information as you scroll through that page. So let's begin on the planning section. So planning your business is one of the most important steps, probably the most important step in getting a successful business started. If you don't plan it right, you can easily fall into the categories where individuals either have delayed success or they aren't, unfortunately, able to start their venture. So in this tab or tile, we have a basic overview of what you're looking at in this section. So turning your idea into a business, that is what the planning aspect is about. It's the first step that you want to take in the business development process, which these tiles right here essentially highlight the business development process. So if you want to basically ask yourself, what all is involved from start to finish, you can essentially find that here along these tabs. So getting back to planning, we have turning your idea into a business. Once you've read that and you realize that this is the page that you need to be on, you want to start by exploring what a business plan might look like, what you should consider having in your business plan. And one of the features that we thought would be really helpful is including a business plan template. This is actually developed by one of our partner organizations, SCORE, who is sponsored actually by the Small Business Administration. Here it gives you a short description about writing a business plan, but when you open this, I think you can open it in a PDF as well as a Word file. I've used it in Word myself. It's an easy template to understand. You can fill in the details that are really geared towards what your vision is. And so when you're ready to go to a mentor, or if you're ready to go to your lawyer or accountant, bank, if you're looking for some type of funding assistance and you need to go to a financial institution, you'll want to make sure you have this in plan so that way others understand your vision and where you're going with that. Below that, we have naming your business. This is a category or a topic where individuals often get hung up on. And so we worked with other state agencies. Like I said, this is a cross-agency collaborative effort with Department of State, who's involved with business registration, Department of Revenue, who's involved with tax registration, and Labor and Industry, who's involved with employer accounts like unemployment compensation, workers' compensation, things like that. So we work together to identify the common areas where individuals either get confused or struggle to understand. And this was one of the main aspects when starting a business that individuals got hung up on. It's what does it mean to name your business? So it's a very important aspect. And to begin, we have a link here to check the availability of your name. With certain registrations, you can use a name that someone else is using, such as in the form of a fictitious name. If you register a fictitious name, it's not something that you get reserved. It's something that if you register a fictitious name, there might be 100 other fictitious names registered. So it's very important that you check the availability, because if you want to make yours unique, you'll need to check this search. But also, if you're doing any other type of business structure, such as LLC, corporation, nonprofit, anything like that where you have to register a business name, those types of structures you cannot use an identical name. So that's also why you want to check the availability. Otherwise, your application may get rejected. So this is the first step in planning your business. Is you've decided on a name. Now you need to check to see if it's available. Here we have legal name. So legal name is something that's given to businesses. It's a short description, but it's very clear, it's very concise. It is essentially the legal name of an individual or the legal name of the company. So oftentimes you'll see the designation limited, incorporated, LLC after as well. On the other hand, we have fictitious names, which are often referred to as doing business as. So if you have a legal name, such as your first and last given name at birth, or if you've developed an LLC and you've created ABC LLC, but you'd like to operate under another name that was not given to you or that you have not registered, that is where a fictitious name comes in. So there's a short description of that as well to try and clarify the difference between that and the legal name. The biggest thing you want to use or keep in mind is that anytime you're filling out applications, please use the same name throughout all of your registrations and applications to prevent any mix-up or delays in the registration of your business. It's very important as the other agencies talk together and sharing the information when you register your business that they're all using the same business name. We've ran into situations where individuals may have one account with Department of State, but multiple accounts with Department of Revenue, simply because they registered a name with Department of State and different names or designations with Department of Revenue. So to keep that all the same, please use the same name throughout your applications. Here's another important aspect is what type of business structure is right for you. That's a question we commonly get asked. Ultimately, we cannot determine that for you. Once you've decided, we can tell you what you need to do to register a structure, but ultimately the decision is up to you. And if you want assistance, you can seek legal counsel, you can speak with a certified accountant, and also an insurance agent would be helpful in determining what would be the best option for you. So here is a quick link to getting business advice. That will take you to a section which I'm about to get into right below here. So if you have questions and you really want to speak to individuals who've been there, done that, here we have an organization called SCORE, which I mentioned earlier. They're the ones that developed our template. Here you can find a SCORE mentor. It will take you to the search page where you can type in your information. It will actually find a local office near you where you can schedule an appointment with a mentor and meet one-on-one for free counseling. So that's a benefit that's once again, sponsored by the Small Business Administration, but it's a partner that we really value and a resource that we highly recommend, especially starting out. And if you're bouncing around some ideas, we do have individuals who've contacted us and say, I haven't decided, I want to do a hair salon, but I also really have a passion for cars, so I want to do a car dealership. These are real live examples of individuals who have a decision to make ultimately, and this would be a great resource to start if you haven't decided which passion you want to pursue. Below that, we have our workshops, and also there's one-on-one counseling with our small business development centers. Once again, we have a link here that will take you to a locator site, which you type in your information, and you can actually find the closest small business development center near you. Here, in order to take advantage of their services, you'll want to take their First Step workshop, and that will open the door to all the resources and information they have to provide you. These individuals are lawyers, they're accountants, they're paid professionals that are there to help guide you in establishing your business. And the First Step workshop is great, and really it can be a couple hour long presentation, but it's there to kind of really give you the reality and the facts of what it takes to get your business up and running. So at the end of it, you may decide, this isn't what I expected. Maybe I need some more time before I really pursue that. But that's really what those First Step workshops are there to do, is kind of guide you in that direction. And as I mentioned, these individuals are paid professionals. They are actually hired by the universities, small business development centers throughout the state, whereas a business mentor through SCORE, these are volunteer professionals. They're business owners, they're retired executives that are there simply to offer their time and to help you with figuring out what the best direction is to get your business up and running or even growing. Lastly, we have the Small Business Administration. I mentioned them. They support the SCORE organization as well as small business development centers, and they're a great federal resource for us, and I want to emphasize that it is a federal resource. This is the U.S. Small Business Administration. We recommend this. If you click on this link, it will actually take you to the SBA website. They have, it seems as though they have unlimited resources when it comes to any type of topic that you have questions on. They have articles, they have blogs, they have diverse business resources for the women and minority, veteran, disabled, LGBT businesses. They have a lot of resources for those categories. Pretty much anything that you could think of, there is something written on this website about government contracting, funding programs. You can find that on here, and we definitely recommend, if you're looking for some reading material, educate yourself, find out what all the resources are available through the SBA, definitely check out that website. But if you're looking for personal one-on-one mentoring or training, definitely take advantage of their partner organizations sponsored by SCORE and Small Business Development Center. Moving on to register. So this is the next step. Once you've decided what direction you want to go in with setting up your business, you've said, you know what, I'm going to establish a sole proprietorship, I'm going to register my fictitious name, or maybe you decide you want to do an LLC. This is where you'll want to go for your next step. It's a quick introduction. If you ended up here accidentally before getting into our planning section, maybe you need to take a step back and go back to the planning section, we do have a quick link here for that. And if you have any questions throughout the process, we do have a quick link for our contact us as well. So registering with Pennsylvania, this is what you need to know as far as getting your business registered. Here we talk about associated fees. This link takes you to the page that talks about that. We get into the registration process. We have a link for the registration process, which is a little further down here. And also, if you're still deciding on your business structures, we want to make sure that, if you're on this page and you're not yet understanding why you're here. We want to make sure there's a link for everyone. So if you need to go back and check out what business structure you want to do, there's a quick link for that. So before you begin, registration can become very complex. It doesn't have to be, and that's why we have this before you begin section. You really want to make sure you understand what you're setting up. You want to make sure you have your experts, your mentors, whatever channels you use, and whatever expertise you use to kind of guide you in the right direction. We want to make sure you know how to prepare yourself. Some individuals will use their lawyers to help them register their business, or maybe they pay them to file. But we want to make sure that if you're doing this on your own, even if you get advice, we tell individuals you can do this on your own, but just make sure you get advice from the experts before you start the registration process yourself. So this kind of gives you a little preface into what you need to have before registering. So this is the basic business registration process explained. We have it broken down step by step. Confirm your business name is available. We went over that in the beginning, but just in case you end up here, first we give you all the information you need regarding that. Step 2, confirm your professional licensure is current. This is for individuals who might be considered professional practices. We do describe what professional practices are, and we do have additional links if you need to research that. We have links to Department of State's website so you can learn more about that. Professional licenses usually go to individuals such as your lawyers, accountants, chiropractors, doctors, family therapists, things like that. So if you aren't exactly sure, you can use this information, or you can always contact us as well. Step 3, typically once you've verified your name's available, verify that you don't need professional practice or professional licensing. Most businesses do not need to go through that professional licensing and can just jump right down to step 3, which is getting your EIN number. This is free. So if you already have your federal EIN or federal employer identification number, you can simply skip this step and move down to step 4. But if not, we definitely encourage you to register your EIN before moving through the registration process, and you can easily access the registration site through the IRS link right here. Step 4, to register your business structure, you can do that through PenFile. So this would be your LLCs, your corporations, nonprofits. You can do all of that through here. If you're just registering a fictitious name, this link down here will actually take you to the same page. The reason why we have this broken down here is because you may be an LLC that wants to register as ABC LLC and then file a fictitious name doing business as something else. So if you want to operate under a different name, that's why we have this link here. And also for individuals that just want to use their first name or just want to use their last name, they don't want to use their full name, or if they want to create a name of their own, this section is for you as well. Step 6 is registering for your state tax and employer accounts. So Department of Labor and Industry works with revenue. So if you are hiring your employees, you can register for your accounts through the PA 100, as well as if you are selling taxable goods and services, all that is done through the PA 100, which is also a free registration. And I do want to clarify, I just now realized that, I mentioned that this was free. If you do go through PenFile, you will notice that the different registrations will have filing fee requirements. Same with the professional practices. They do have annual fees as well. So just keep that in mind when you are registering. And before you check out, it will tell you what the charges are. So before you actually can finish, you do know how much it is to register that particular structure or fictitious name. Step 7, check for special registrations if applicable. So this is where we have information on specific licenses, such as home improvement contractor licensing, specific fields that might need permits from Department of Environmental Protection, transportation and hauling services. These types of businesses may require some additional permitting or registration. And while we're working on developing a permitting section, we do want to encourage individuals, if you have questions, not exactly sure what it is you need, please contact us. We can definitely help guide you in the direction that you need. Step 8, this is the last step that you definitely want to make sure you take, and that is checking with your local municipality to see if there's any local permit or licenses operating where you're at. If you're a home improvement contractor, or you're working in a field such as that, and you're going to be working in multiple municipalities, you will have to check with those local municipalities to determine what each individual one requires. They may or may not require anything from you, but it's best just to double check, because there's over 2,500 municipalities in Pennsylvania, and they all operate differently. All right, so getting back to the top here, the next tile we have is Operate. So in the Operate section, this is mainly for individuals who are currently in operation but may be looking to find out what they need to continue their operations, give you a little background on if you've already started a business but you're looking to hire some workers. This gives you some information on that. Maybe you have your business registered but you're not exactly sure what tax accounts you might need or special taxes that you need to file for. This section has that information for you. And we also didn't want to leave out the closing of a business. While we don't want to promote closing your business, we want to help you in any way that's possible, get you connected with experts to help you keep your business up and running. There are certain points in time where individuals, for one reason or another, do need to have information on closing down their business. So this is the section for that. So as you can see, just like with the other pages, we have a quick introduction into what you can expect with this page. If you select the drop-down, here we have a quick link to eTides. That is where you can easily access the filing system with Department of Revenue to file your taxes. We also have a link to the unemployment compensation management system. So if you're filing unemployment compensation, we want to make sure that you're able to easily access all of these resources in one simple location. So this is one of the reasons why we developed this site, because for the longest time we would get calls, and I know it wasn't just with us, but other agencies were struggling with directing individuals to the right places, especially if it wasn't their area of expertise. And individuals, maybe they are brand new to the process, and if they receive some information, you have all this material, language, emails coming to you as soon as you start a business, you might have lost some of this information. So you always know now that as a default, you can go to the Business One-Stop Shop to access these resources. Certificate of Annual Registration. As I mentioned before, if you're a professional practice, you do have an annual filing requirement. So this is a link to Department of State's annual filing through PennFile. So you can easily access that as well. Changing your business name. So this can be a complex process. So you definitely want to make sure you have the appropriate staff on hand and expertise and counsel to go to when you're going through the change of your business. So make sure you have a trusted lawyer, accountant, insurance professional that can help guide you through this process. But when you are ready and you do need to make some changes, these are the links and quick details on what you need to do and who you need to file with to get the changes processed. As I mentioned earlier as well, we have the hiring workers section. So individuals who might be looking to hire for the first time, this is a great resource to learn about the employer information services that are available, as well as someone talked to me about unemployment compensation. What does that mean? I've heard of workers' compensation. Maybe you file workers' compensation on your own. Maybe you filed for unemployment compensation as an individual. These topics give you the perspective of what employers need to address. So here we have the section on employer compensation. If you need to learn more, we do have the link to the unemployment compensation FAQ page, and we also have a link to contact us, in which we have a specific prompt for labor and industry questions. And I do want to emphasize that unemployment compensation, workers' compensation, those are through Department of Labor and Industry. So just to make sure as you're going through this process, if you do have questions, you already have registered your account, and you do need to speak with someone, Labor and Industry can help registered employers with any questions they have. If you're just starting out and you need to know how to register unemployment compensation, workers' compensation, you can do that through Department of Revenue's PA 100 form, and Department of Revenue can answer any questions you have if you're in the process of registering. So keep that in mind. Department of Revenue helps when you're in the process of registering, where Labor and Industry helps you once you've registered and have your accounts in place. So just like you see, we do have a link. If you have questions about workers' compensation that aren't addressed here, you have a link to the page. We also have contact us once again. Employer withholding of personal income tax. We do have links for helpful information on that as well. We have new hire reporting requirements. This is important for individuals who have heard about the new hire reporting but aren't exactly sure what it is or if they need to comply. Every employer must comply with the new hire reporting, so if you have questions, you can use that link or contact us. We have Act 32 and local earned income tax. So this is one of the main questions that we address as soon as individuals have registered with Department of Revenue. Act 32 is something that DCED, as highlighted here, we have an office that specifically addresses Act 32 and local earned income tax questions. All that information can be found on these links as well as the FAQ, but if you do have additional questions, please use the contact us link. Down here we have special taxes that you can file through Department of Revenue, common business taxes, specialized business taxes. So any questions you have related to taxes, you can find in there, and you can always contact Department of Revenue or visit their website for further questions. Before you close your business, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to get too much into this because our goal is to encourage you to start your business, but we do have this section, and it kind of gives you a step-by-step breakdown of what you should consider when closing your business. And here is the documents and forms that you would likely need depending on the type of structure you have. So any questions with that, here's the agency that you'd be working with. If you're not exactly sure how to complete those forms, typically you can do that the same way that you registered, but any questions with that, you can always contact those specific agencies. The other main tab, one of the last main tabs other than PA Proud, is the Grow section. This is very important to individuals who have established their operations but are looking to figure out ways to grow it. So here we have resources such as finding business experts. We have partnerships for regional and economic performance. We have a link for that. So the goal here is we have 108 funded prep partners, including the small business development centers that I mentioned earlier, that are there to help you through all of these stages of the business development process. So if you're not exactly sure who to go to, there's a regional coordinator for 10 different regions in Pennsylvania that cover all the counties. So please utilize that resource if you're not exactly sure who to go to for expert help. If you're looking to get some information on export assistance, we do have the export network partners as well that can help you. And as I mentioned, SBDC, we do highlight frequently throughout. They are an expert resource to utilize, as well as the SBA. Finding the right fit. So If you're considering, if you're coming, I think most of our viewers here are from Pennsylvania or already looking to establish in Pennsylvania. But if you are from outside of Pennsylvania, we want to make sure that you can see what resources, what sites are available to you. Even if you're a local business, this might be helpful to you. We do have a PA site search that can give you results on facilities, demographics, and different regions. If you're looking to move locations, this will give you some information on what those locations have to offer. We also have the Governor's Action Team. If you'd like to learn more about what they do, very valuable resource, especially when it comes to large projects. International business, they are the experts on helping international businesses come here, but also individuals and small businesses and even large businesses that are looking to expand outside of Pennsylvania into other countries. We want to highlight here, once you're registered and established, becoming a government supplier can be a boon to business. So we want to make sure we have these resources available to you as well. If you're looking for the experts to help you through that process, you can find your local Procurement Technical Assistance Center. A lot of these are linked to the Small Business Development Center, so you get connected with them. You will be able to find this resource as well, but you can also use this link to find a local one closest to you. We have state government procurement. We have the GoToPA Marketplace. Once you are in our system, this is a great opportunity to access the bidding opportunities and the vendor opportunities that are available to PA businesses. Small Diverse Business Certification Program. So if you want to become a government supplier, this is really helpful. Even if you're not, you want to make sure if you do identify as a small diverse business, which is these categories down here, it's a really good idea to get certified. Some of these programs will have a registration fee or a certification fee, so keep that in mind. But definitely if you want to participate as a small diverse business with Department of General Services and participate in bidding opportunities, make sure you get these certifications and any that apply to you. Here's the Small Diverse Business Capital Access Program. So once you have certified and you are looking to participate in procurement opportunities, this is a great funding program through our Pennsylvania Industrial Development Authority office. This is really catered to helping individuals with being able to achieve the goals. There are some guidelines and certain stipulations that you must comply with. So please view the guidelines and find out if this program is right for you by clicking this link. If you're looking for other funding, we do have a link for state funding, and that's more generalized programs for anyone. We have state contracting and procurement opportunities. So once you are ready to actually enter into those, you want to make sure you get into Department of General Services system, so that way you can start bidding on opportunities. Small Disadvantaged Business Status. This is another status that you can get through Small Business Administration and is also used for some programs through agencies such as Department of Transportation. So this is also something if you're looking to participate in procurement opportunities in this category as well. Just make sure you do research on that, but that gives you a little tidbit on what's involved. Here are some small diverse business resources. So if you are looking for some additional resources, here are the links for women, minority, and veteran-owned pages, but we also have these links down here. We have various resources that go from regional business enterprise national councils to also federal resources as well. Same thing with minority, the same setup. We have state resources, federal resources, and also with veteran. The same setup. We want to make sure that we're consistent with our messaging. So if you fit into either one of these categories, any information you're looking for, you can easily access to there. If you're looking for funding, I do want to emphasize, and we do get this question a lot, if you're looking for grants to start a business, those are essentially non-existent. but there are a lot of loan programs out there, and there are grants for specific purposes. So we just recommend, if you are interested in finding out what state programs are available for funding, please use a search and definitely look at the guidelines and the eligibility requirements to see if you are at that point. Any questions, there's usually a contact for each program. Here are some examples of some of our most common programs, so please utilize those links if you're interested, and those sound like they may apply to you. Down at the bottom, you saw I just clicked the Getting Business Advice. This takes you back to the original page where you can find SCORE, Small Business Development Center, and SBA information. This was connected with the Grow section simply because we had individuals who used the site during our testing and found that when they were looking for mentors, they were tending to go to Grow as well as Plan. So we wanted to make sure you could easily access that through this page as well. The last tab, even though it's not one of these main ones with the business development process, this is still an important tab. It describes what makes starting business in PA so great, how you can be happy in PA. We have a PA Proud blog. So this is a great tab to explore what opportunities Pennsylvania offers to small businesses, how it can help you with working smart and living happy, which is our theme, and also joining our business community, how you can stay in touch with the business community, whether locally or statewide. And we also have Pursue Your Happiness. So anything you want to learn about what it's like to explore the different opportunities that PA has to offer, this is a great tab to do to look at as well. So to finish up, we have a quick About section just to kind of give you the background. It's what I explained earlier. If you want to read a little bit more on that, you can do that through here. We have our library tab that gives you all the different resources that we have to offer. We're continually expanding this, so what you see here is probably going to look quite different months and years down the road as we build this out. Here are our business forms. So we have our Department of State, how to access those forms and the filing. Department of Revenue, once again, we have the forms and the filings. And here we have the Department of Labor and Industry and their links as well. Here are any guides. If you're looking for reading material, you have this to easily access. We have testimonials that you can read at your own convenience if you want to find out more success stories. We also have a feedback tab. We highly encourage you to use this tab. It will ask you some basic information, but please use that if you have any questions about, if you had a good experience, bad experience, if you have some suggestions on what we could add, this is how you can let us know. You can also use the Contact tab, Contact Us tab. Anytime you have questions, if you can't find it here, you can use the online contact form if that's easy for you. It will generate an email in which we'll respond, or you can contact us by phone. Here are the prompts that you'll notice. Please read these before you call, so that way you know which option you select. If you're not exactly sure what you're calling about, this is the option you select specifically for our office, and we can address any questions you have. But if it's specifically related to these topics, here are the options for those. So I know I kind of breezed through that last part really quick, but I want to make sure we have time for some questions. So Sean, do we have any questions in queue?
Thank you, Michael. This has been great. Just a little bit of feedback. I think the cleanliness of the site is awesome. So kudos to your web developer. Seems very intuitive, very easy to follow along. So well done. I've enjoyed your presentation so far. So yeah, we have a couple questions. We got about 10 minutes left in our time, so I think we could take a few. The first one comes in from Lindsay. So how do you get to be on the preferred list of SBDC offices near us?
So in order to become a partner, that's something that you can, if you're interested in doing that, we do have specific offices that do work with current providers. So if that's something of interest that you're looking to get connected to, please contact us, because we'll put you in touch with the specific individual. If you're looking to, I will send, we'll be sending follow-up emails, so you can always respond to those emails. But if you do have some specific opportunities that you're thinking about pursuing and you'd like to know what we have to offer, use that contact us and select option 0 so it can come directly to our office so we can engage that with you more.
Very good. Thank you very much. So this came in anonymously, and here at the Business Journal, we certainly talk a lot about succession planning and transferring of a business. So this question, I think, speaks very highly to what we're all dealing with. So what do you need to know when buying, selling, or otherwise transferring a business? That's the question.
So this is a very, very important topic. You don't want to go wrong with making changes to your business, especially if you're buying a business. It's just like buying a car or buying a house from someone. You want to do your research. You want to have experts on your side. Same with selling. You don't want to get yourself in a bind. So when speaking with individuals, if you're deciding to buy, sell, or transfer business, you want to make sure you're talking to the appropriate experts. So we highly recommend and encourage you to speak with a trusted legal advisor, accountant, and business insurance professional to assist you throughout that process. We, unfortunately, aren't equipped with that expertise where we can provide you advice on that. But once you have an idea of the steps you need to take with state agencies, that's where we come into play, and we can help you through that process once you decide what you need to do after speaking with the professionals.
Awesome. Thank you for covering that. Another question here that I believe speaks to not only those on the phone, but also to a number of readers here, is around hiring. So the question is, what do I need to know in order to start to hire employees?
So that's a great question, and it's definitely something we've highlighted in our Operate tab, and that's because we've received so many questions about this. So we actually made a specific section directly addressing any questions you have with hiring workers. Depending on if it's your first time hiring, or if we've had individuals who have hired employees and have questions about what they need to do to maintain their accounts or file with their accounts. This is a great place and a great resource to access this information. We have unemployment compensation information, workers' compensation, employer withholding. So if it relates to any of those topics, new hire reporting, local income tax reporting, all that information can be found here. But I do want to encourage anyone, if you're looking at this content and you have questions, it's still not addressed there, maybe it creates more questions than what you started with, please contact us. There's a link on each tab. So that way we can help guide you to those experts, because it can be an in-depth process as well.
So I know in your presentation, and this is just really a question that I was thinking about. So you had made reference to making changes to structure, even as going as far as changing business names. But the part that I didn't hear about that I'm interested in, a lot of folks, when they go into business, they have partners, whether they're silent partners or angel investors. I think what I would be interested in knowing is, hopefully we get to the point where those partnerships may need to go away for all the right reasons. How do you add or remove partners in a business?
That's a great question, and that's something that as we build out the site, we're adding content consistently, and that's one of the things that we've looked at, because within our own office here at DCED, we kind of are the anchor for the business one-stop shop. And so we answer any questions and all those in between. And one of the questions that we've had in the past is assisting individuals and businesses who are looking to either add or remove a partner. And it's something where just like when you registered your business to begin with, it's something that you're going to have to file either with Department of State or Department of Revenue. It's not, unfortunately, a black and white answer, but it is something that we can definitely provide you information on. So if that's a specific topic of concern, please use option 0 when you contact us, because we can actually provide you a step-by-step on what you would need to do. And that's, like I said, as we're building out the site, even if that information is not quite there or it's not as expanded on, it's something that we can expand on in the back end and definitely personalize it based on your specific situation, whether you're adding a partner, removing a partner, and like I said, depending on what you're doing, how you're adding them, what type of partner it is it just, is it someone who you started a business with, or is it just someone who's listed as a member? There's different processes to take, so we can definitely guide you through that process specifically.
All right, you sold me. I'm ready. I'm going to start my own business now. I'm going to work out of the Business Journal office. Talk to me a little bit about your team. There were about 4 minutes left. Why don't you talk a little bit about I'm ready to go. How do I start?
So when you start a business in Pennsylvania, like I said, the way we structure the website, we do it in the order. Oftentimes you read, left to right. So when you're starting, you want to start with the plan section, move to register. Then once you're settled and you're continuing operations, you can move on to the operate tab. And then if you're ready to grow or expand on your current operations, you're looking for funding, you can select the grow section. To start a business though, you definitely want to make sure you're speaking with the right experts. We can put you in contact with those experts. You can easily access those resources by selecting the plan tab. So no matter what stage you're at, whether you're at plan, register, operate, or grow, you can either contact our office or you can reach out to the individuals under getting business advice. Typically, once you've decided on your structure, you'll go over to the registration section, and that's where we'll actually outline what the steps are you need to register your business with the link. And we even have a checklist. So as you're going through, maybe not all the steps apply to you, and that's definitely something we can help out with. You might come through here and you might say, oh, number 2, not sure if professional licensure applies to me, but I don't know how to check or verify that. We do have links that you can do that, but sometimes it's just easier to talk to someone. So you can email us what type of structure you're setting up. You can email us what type of industry you're in, and we can actually cater this list in an email to you in response and let you know what process and what steps you need to take in order to get your business successfully running. But throughout the process, Sean, if I can recommend anything, is to make sure you have the right professionals on staff. So, if you don't have the money to hire a lawyer, an accountant, or an insurance agent at this time, definitely make sure you add that to your budget for the future. But in the meantime, you can always use SCORE or Small Business Development Center resources and their experts that they have, because they have a wealth of knowledge and experience to offer you. And same with our team. Our team here at DCED, we're connected. We can provide you a holistic view of this process, no matter what stage you're at. Although, we're the jack of all trades, so we can't get into necessarily all the specifics about forms and things like that. But what we can guarantee is that we'll get you in contact with the experts. If there's agencies or if there's resources that have that information, we will guarantee that we'll do the research. If we don't already have it in our database, we'll make sure we research that for you and get you the information that's available. But most of the time, because we've been around for quite a while, the Business One-Stop Shop is new, but the office has been around for quite a while, helping new businesses, established businesses with the questions they have. And that's something that I have no doubt that we'd be able to help you with any question you have.
That's awesome. Thank you so much again, Michael, and to everyone in your department and at the DCED for lending your expertise and insights today into this very important topic. I hope that everyone on the line has enjoyed enjoyed the time as much as I have and have 2 or 3 takeaways that you can implement at your places of business. Thank you to everyone who asked questions this morning. Again, if we didn't get to your question, Michael or someone from the DCED will get back to you offline. It is right now 12 o'clock. This ends today's call. I hope everyone has a great rest.